Man, apologies for this sun. The lighting was not well executed in this video. Welcome to episode 3 of Uber to Bitcoin, where I am taking my earnings from driving you wonderful folks all around the Delaware Valley and putting it towards the purchase of a full Bitcoin. Something that drives me crazy about crypto or investing channels is how complicated they make it. So I hope to bridge the gap. This stuff is not rocket science. Oh, why? Now, of course, the sun peeks out. I'll be sure to cover why I think it's good to invest in Bitcoin, what platforms you can use, and just in general, how crypto and the blockchain work. And again, in simple terms, not with all that technical mumbo jumbo. But for now, I want to talk about a concept that may sound kind of technical, but it's really not that complicated. And that's dollar cost averaging. When I learned about this concept, it changed my whole perspective on investing. And I wanted to cover this in an early episode because I'll be referencing it throughout this project. The dollar cost average is simple. It's the average cost you bought something for. Let's say it's Saturday night and you cracked a beer in your fridge that you bought at the beer store for $1. After you finish that beer, you decide to head to the local bar because, after all, human connection is 90% of the reason you drink. And the local bar knows that you'd rather drink there than drink alone, so they can charge you $5 for that same beer. So at this point, you spent a total of $6 and you've had 2 beers. Your average cost per beer, 6 divided by 2 is $3. So that's $3 per beer. That's your dollar cost average. Now let's say you're having fun at the bar, so you decide to order another $5 beer. That means in total you've now spent $11 on 3 beers. 11 divided by 3, your dollar cost average, or your average price per beer, is now $3.60. Now that you're feeling a little buzzed, you think you're way cooler than you actually are, you decide to approach some females at a nearby table. You're like, what's up, ladies? You know I own 0.00003 Bitcoin. I'm rich. Naturally, these girls are like, why is this weirdo who's drinking by himself trying to talk to me? Get away from me, you freak. Dejected, you think, screw this. Why would I hang out at this bar and pay $5 a beer when I have them for $1 back at home? So you head home, throw on Billy Joel Pandora, and drink 2 more $1 beers because you wonder if Davey is still in the Navy and what the heck is a real estate novelist after all. You don't find out the answer to those questions, but you do add 2 more beers to your total and $2 more to your expenses, bringing up your total cost for beer for the night to $13 and your total amount of beers to 5. 13 divided by 5, your total average per beer for the night is $2.60. That's dollar cost averaging. It's the same thing with the stock market. Now, crypto is not the same as the stock market. It has some similarities, but crypto has a lot more utility or function to it than stocks do. But again, more on a later video. But for all intents and purposes, for this concept, you can think of crypto or Bitcoin as a stock. Now, let's say I think Uber is a great company, and hypothetically, the stock is valued at $20. And I'm going to invest in 1 share of Uber. So I buy 1 share of Uber for $20. Then let's say the Uber CEO is caught on camera trashing one of his own drivers. Yes, this actually happened. Anyway, let's say that bad press from the Uber CEO causes the stock to drop to $10. And I think, you know what? That's definitely a bad look. But overall, long term, I think Uber is a good company. So I'm going to buy another share, and this time I get it for what I think is a discounted rate of $10. I put a total of $30 into these 2 shares, 1 at 20, 1 at 10. So on average, I paid $15 per share. Why is that important? That means all the Uber stock has to do is get back to $15 for me to break even. Sure, I'm still down $5 from my original purchase of $20, but I'd be up $5 from my second purchase at $10. That's how dollar cost averaging works. And this is so cool how this worked out since my last episode when I bought my first bit of Bitcoin for around $47,000. Since then, it's jumped to as high as $66,000 and right now is currently around $60. So what does that mean? That means the $180 that I originally put in when it was at 47 is now worth $230. That's $50 for doing nothing, just taking a little risk and being patient. Granted, I didn't have to be that patient because it happened in less than a month, but if you extrapolate that thinking to being patient for 5 years or 10 years or whatever your goals are, that's why long-term investing pays off. And God Dang, son, messing me up again. I had to move. I think it's a really cool example of how it takes money to make money and how the rich get richer. Imagine if instead of that $180 I got from driving Uber, I had $180,000 I got from a trust fund. That means that $50 that I gained would have been $50,000. That's a middle-class salary, all for doing nothing other than taking a little risk and being patient. So to keep things simple and apply this concept of dollar cost averaging for my next investment, I'm gonna match my first one of $180. So I'm gonna put in another $180 at its current price of 60K. So as of today, that means I've invested this amount of money, I own this amount of Bitcoin, and my dollar cost average, or the price I bought it at, is this. Make sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell on. And Investor Ed, we'll see you in a month. Thanks for watching, guys.